a report circulating across social media is drawing the enormous attention after the claim emerged that United States has agreed to provide Iran with $300 billion in reconstruction funding. So release of $24 billion in frozen Iran assets and even unlock $12 billion before negotiations officially begin. So that's what it's circulating. Now, the claim comes from the report attributed to the Iran state affiliated Mehr agency, news agency basically. It has been widely shared online. So basically, the report states this clear. Iran says the US has agreed to pay $300 billion in reconstruction funds directly to Iran as a part of deal announced by Pakistan alongside to release $24 billion in frozen funds, with $12 billion released before negotiations even starts. So if this is accurate, this would represent one of the largest financial arrangements ever associated with the modern diplomatic settlement in the Middle East. So that will be good for Iran because US destroyed a lot of Iranian infrastructure. And why is this number so significant? Let's take a look at this number very closely. According to the reports published by Mehr News Agency, a draft framework report includes approximately around $300 billion in reconstruction funding and intended to help rebuild Iran infrastructure and economy, right? That's good. And the reports also suggest that the package is linked to a broader diplomatic arrangement involving economic recovery, sanction-related measures, and that release of foreign Iranian assets. So according to the Iranian media, Tehran's position is that reconstruction funding is necessarily because of damage inflicted on country's infrastructure during the conflict, which was going. Now, Iranian officials also argue that the energy facilities, transport networks, industrial complexes, and other strategic assets, they will suffer the substantial damage that rebuilding them will require enormous amount of financial resources. And from their perspective, is absolutely right. Now, Iran's perspective, reconstruction is not as simply as an economic issue. No, it is a part of the peace process itself. Iran reportedly believes that if there will be lasting peace settlement, the damage caused during the conflict must be addressed through a major reconstruction effort. Now, that is where the $300 billion figure comes into the discussion in this negotiation deal. So according to this Mehr agency, from Iran officials consider the reconstruction assistance an essential component of the longer-term agreement. Again, another major element of that reported framework involves also frozen Iranian assets, means foreign frozen Iranian assets. Billions of dollars belonging to Iran has remained frozen under the various sanction program and financial restriction. So according to the report, approximately $24 billion in frozen Iranian funds could be released under proposed arrangements. So the reports further claim that around $12 billion may be released before the formal negotiations are fully completed. That particular detail has attracted significant attention because it would represent an early economic concession before probably the broader negotiation process even concludes. So for Iran, access to these funds could provide immediate economic relief and support of reconstruction efforts for Iranian infrastructure. For negotiators, it could potentially serve as a confidence-building measure intended to encourage the further diplomatic progress with the United States. Now, one of the reasons this story has attracted all over the social media and attention is because the sheer size of the report reconstruction package, because $300 billion, right? It's an enormous amount of money. But again, the damage was caused by US. So to put into perspective, it's a larger than economic output of many countries around the world. So a reconstruction program of that size would likely involve a longer-term infrastructure projects, energy investments, transportation upgrades, and industrial redevelopments, and economic modernization efforts spread over many years. So it would not necessarily mean that a single payment of $300 billion is immediately transferred to Iran. No. Large reconstruction programs are often structured through multiple phases involving governments, private investors, right, development institutions, and international partners in this. So nevertheless, the figure itself demonstrates the scale of Iranian official belief is necessary to rebuild the damaged infrastructure and accelerate the economic recovery in Iranian territory. So the discussion are also taking place that backdrop of a broader regional security concerns. One of the most strategically important issues remained the Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most important energy corridor in the entire world. So a significant portion of the global oil export passes through that narrow waterway every single hour, every single day. Any improvement in regional stability can have major implication for global energy markets. Now, shipping routes and international trades also includes all in that one narrow path. Because of this, the governments and investors around the world are closely monitoring developments related to these negotiations. That's why this is so important. So the outcome could influence not only relations between US and Iran, but also the broader stability across the entire Middle East. Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Kuwait, UAE, all these countries will be involved. Supporters of the reconstruction assistance argue that rebuilding of infrastructure is often necessary as a major conflict. So they point to a historic example where reconstruction efforts helped restore economic activities, improve living conditions in Iran, reduce the likelihood of probably future instability or any kind of bombing. So their argument is that rebuilding roads, power system, infrastructure facilities, and transportation networks creates conditions for long-term recovery inside Iran. So on the other hand, critics, however, question whether such a large package would be politically acceptable or not. A commitment involving hundreds of billions of dollars would likely face intense debate and scrutiny. But the question would inevitably arise regarding how the money would be allocated and would oversee project condition would apply and how implementation would be monitored on these kind of situations. So those issues would almost certainly become a major topic discussion if the negotiations move forward in a very positive side. So at the certain of all this remains the reported $300 billion reconstruction proposal. So, Mehr news agency, the proposal reflects Iran's view that rebuilding damaged infrastructure must be part of comprehensive settlement between the United States and Iran. And Iranian officials reportedly argued that years of conflict and military actions and created economic losses and sanctions require substantial reconstruction support. From their point of view, they're absolutely right. Whether the reported figure ultimately becomes a part of the finalized agreement or not remains to be seen further. Negotiations involving major geopolitical power are often complex, can evolve significantly before final terms are reached between the US and Iran. However, the appearance of such a large reconstruction proposal has already made one of its most closely watched aspects of the ongoing discussions. For now, honestly, that report's attribute to Iran states affiliated Mehr news agency claim a framework exists that includes $300 billion in reconstruction funding, $24 billion in frozen assets, and initial $12 billion released before negotiations are completed. I'm not telling started, completed. So if implemented, those proposals could reshape the economic and diplomatic relationships across the region and become one of the most significant reconstruction efforts in the recent history if this happens. So as more official detail emerges, the world will be watching very closely whether these reported proposals become a part of the final agreement between the US and Iran. So what do you think? Should the reconstruction funding be included in the peace settlement after a conflict, or should these issues be handled separately? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And for more insights and breakdown, don't forget to subscribe because you can help my channel to grow more because I'm spending a lot of time to give you accurate information. Thank you. See you in the next video.